Hey guys, doing this is very important. That satellite man claims he was trying to confuse me with somebody else's identity. Now, I'm the only one that lives here since the day I moved in here. Now, they need to check the date of where anybody else had ever lived at this little house and the time and date that they had moved somewhere else. Because it's very important in reference to prosecuting the government for trying to confuse my identity with somebody else. I'm the only child of my mother and father. The time and date that I moved into this little house is documented. Nobody else has lived here since I moved in here. Everybody understand that? So they need to get, just for, information point of whichever person lived here before and the fact that they had moved to another place, whoever those people were, time and date. The government has to get prosecuted for attacking me, abusing me, and torturing me at this little house. The government has to get charged from the time they kidnapped me from my mother and father's mansions every time, even when my parents was alive and they had done these things, whoever these government people are, when they tried to do these things. Need that reference information too. So, in reference to the government man, who do you think somebody is? My license plate is registered to me, not to anybody else. My social security number is my social security number. My driver's license number is my driver's license number. That's time and dated when I was at the DMV, See, solid information is very important. And information in reference to the driver's license that my mother had tried to send or she delivered to the courts in Indianapolis back in the 80s. The government stole it back in the 80s. So there's been somebody trying to impersonate me for over 40 years, I guess you'd say, or 30 plus years in Indiana, whoever the person is. Now, whose responsibility is it to go after that person? They've already stole my DNA. They already stole my blood. Now let's see how many other people named Mark Ray, that they were using the name Mark Ray. Let's see how many other people's DNA has been checked. Did you steal their sperm too, government man? Did you try to steal their egg too, if they were hermaphrodites? Is any of these other Mark Ray people hermaphrodites? You don't know, right? What race and religion are they? What color's their skin? What's their teeth look like? These people have called themselves Mark Ray. Where'd they come from? What's the name of their parents? Did you try to confuse me with some other race? Because I even went to school in Indiana for a while. There was nobody else in the school named Mark Ray at any of the schools I ever went to. So we need information, government man. You tried to confuse me with another race and another religion when they have the history of all my driver's license pictures. Does any of these other people going by the name Mark Ray, does any of them look like my driver's license picture? Is any of them using my social security number? I'm one of the most documented people in the whole country. They're still hitting me in the jaw and teeth right now. Need to see the dental records of all these other people calling themselves Mark Ray. I didn't choose that name. It's a name that they've been holding me hostage under, and I've had to use that name. Find out which person made up that name. It was probably Frank and his people or something. They've held me hostage under that name. I've had to use that name. Royal protocols in the media. So in reference to the abuses of government and their confusion, obviously they are not credible people to consistently confuse the same person's identity in the same location every single day. Thousands of times a day they have done these satellite surveillance crimes, attacking me and hitting me in the face and teeth. What kind of music does that person listen to? These other people. They said there was like 23 other people calling themselves Mark Ray in Indianapolis, Indiana. Is there anybody else named Mark Ray that's ever lived in this house? Is there anybody else named Mark Ray that ever drove a Montana van? Is there anybody else named Mark Ray that went to Howell High School or any of the other schools I went to? See, government man, things you say just don't add up, do they? So you're not a good person to try to ask anything about a person's identity, are you? You don't have good credentials or good credibility, do you? Because you seem to confuse somebody all the time. And you think you're smart? When you're an idiot, confusing a person's identity every single second of every single day? You tried to call me a Mexican. I'm not Mexican. These people tried to call me a Mexican in reference to the Macarena song or something. You know, and why'd you do that, man? You tried to call me a Mexican because of a song? You tried to call me a bad person because of what? Because you don't like other people? Or what? You're still hitting me in the teeth? You thought you'd turn my life inside and out and upside down because you thought I had common genetics? You think my DNA is common when I'm a natural hermaphrodite. And I'm one of the only, there's only a few hermaphrodites in the whole world. Natural born hermaphrodites. Everybody else is possibly trannies or cross genders of something, you know. Nothing negative, just saying that in general. I have my own legal right to mention that I'm a hermaphrodite for my protection. And in reference to men trying to rape me, they can get arrested and they can face the death penalty or life in prison. And it'll be hard time for you no matter what. So who's the person that damaged the teeth? They'll say, oh, they're in big government. Do you own this house? Do you own the property lines? Do you own the laws in America? You thought you owned my DNA? When my DNA is a rare DNA type, I'm a hermaphrodite. A real, born, natural, born hermaphrodite. Which I have naturally both reproductive organs. And I'm a model, too. Some people have seen me in bodybuilding pictures. And some people have seen me in modeling photographs. And some people have seen me model as a female. Some people have seen me dressed up as a female in a bikini. They just hit me in the mouth. A bikini or lingerie. And I don't look like a guy when I'm dressed up as a female. I'm usually skinnier too. So let's go to the point of how many Oscars I have ever won playing a female in movies. What are my accolades as a female supermodel? What are my accolades as a male model? What are my accolades in reference to being a ballerina? What are my accolades in reference to being a track and field runner? All the different sports that I've ever been in. Now, you've tried to confuse me. Directors and writers and cinematographers and some well-known famous people have even told these people who I am. But this German or this government cop or this government CIA, FBI man called them liars. And called me a liar about who I am and tried to rape me and tried to murder me. And even when world famous directors and cinematographers and fashion designers have told these German men and these people, Middle Easterners or whoever they are or whatever race these people are, who I am and who my parents are. And people that have known me since I was little, real little. And yet this German's trying to claim he didn't get told this information. Time and date that they told these people to leave me alone. Time and date that they told these people who I am and who my parents are. My parents was even in court, the Supreme Court, when I was little. When I had injuries from the government criminals and the Nazis that had trespassed on my mother and father's mansion property in Texas and other places, and Beverly Hills. So we need the information, time and date. Those people get prosecuted from that time and date, and they face life in prison or the death penalty, and plus there's lawsuits every day.